Hi Lego fans, hope you're well. I wanted to take you on a little journey through time and space today. I recently had the fortune to go back to the United Kingdom, which is my home, and to retrieve some of my childhood Lego. And what you see before you is Lego minifigures in their first incarnation. These guys are over 40 years old. I'm super excited to share these with you today. What you see here is mostly the original set 200, which was Lego Family. These were released in 1974 and it was a set with 78 pieces. And as you can see, most of the bricks in here are just normal standard Lego bricks. And then we have these kind of shoulder pieces, articulated arm pieces, heads, hair, and we even have some hats which go together to make people. These came out in 1974 and were replaced in 1976 by the minifigure that we all know and love today. Super excited about these. I want to show you all of these in a little bit more detail. So first up we have the little boy of the family. Really like the expression on this guy's face, and he has held up really well over the last 40 years. In fact 40 plus years. Very simple. Each one of these characters basically consists of a brick here that has a seam in it, and that locks the arms into place, and then we have varying lengths of arms on these kind of hinged movements. The hands are very simple. They are literally just a ball and then this kind of ring here, which means that it can grip things. You could put an almost like a lightsaber through there, or you could use it to grip onto a Lego stud. Now this guy has a bit of a problem here. These things get brittle over the years and this does pop out, but that gives you a good opportunity to have a look at the piece here. You know, it's literally a ball and a stud there. Let's pop that back in. No licensing in these days, no expression on the back of the head. These were just pure and simple Lego characters, the first incarnation, and these are beautiful. I can't believe these were only out for 2 years. Next we've got the little girl from the family. She's a little bit taller than the boy, although to be fair, you can build her to whatever height you like. These are just standard Lego bricks from the chest down. She's wonderful, and I can't believe what great condition she's in, considering myself and my 2 sisters and my brother have probably all played with these over the years. She's a joy to behold, and I want to thank my son for putting these back together. Really fortunate. We came back with a lot of vintage Lego from England, and we were able to find all of the pieces to put this set back together. We've only got one exception, and I will show you that in the father. Here he is, and this guy is literally the father of minifigures. Now unfortunately I don't believe we have the original head for this guy from set 200. What we're seeing here is a moustached head, and from my research I believe that comes from set number 205, which is a wedding set. It shows a bride and groom with other characters, and I'll show you a picture of that down in the bottom right just now. As you can see, the moustache is on that character, which is the groom, and I'm sure I can recall from my childhood that hat being around, but I did not find that when I went to recover this vintage Lego. So here he is. We've rebuilt the father from set 200, and he's very cool. And again, you know, all of the elements here that make him a person are all very simple. Everything else here from the chest down are all just standard Lego bricks. And here's Mom. And again, she's in beautiful condition. Quite often you see these characters on Bricklink and there's descriptions of the facial features getting worn away, but she's in lovely condition. What I really like about these figures is the hair pieces. They all have ears, and you can pivot the hair backwards and forwards on the character to give them slightly different appearances. So if we want to pivot that forward and give the character bangs, we can do that. Although, yeah, she's going to fall over. So let's put that back right. And all of these things are interchangeable, just like the classic minifigures that we know today. And that's Mom. And finally for this set, here's Grandma. and she is dressed all in black. Now these sets were designed for the European market predominantly. I don't think these were ever released in the United States. They may have been down in Australia. She's got a little bit more wear on her face than the other ones, and like I was saying, she's all dressed in black, which you would kind of associate with a mourning dress. Mourning by, I mean, mourning the death of a relative. And there's no grandfather in this set, so I wonder if that's why Lego dressed her like this. But she is absolutely complete. She's absolutely perfect. Not in mint condition, but she's been played with, she's been loved, and it's great to be able to finally get her out of a tin, put her back together, and appreciate her for the mark in history that these characters are. So I was super stoked that we were able to get most of the parts together to build set number 200, and we actually have a few pieces left over, and I remember there being more pieces than this, but what we've got here shows that at least we had 2 more grandmothers. Now this cap here, I'll show you a picture overlaid. This was actually designed for a baby, and there was a set number which included a baby in a baby carriage with exactly the same size head as everybody else, but that was a baby's cap. I do remember that. And interestingly, you've got these grooves in the top here. I'm just going to pop him on grandma, just like so, and it acts like the hair. You can move this backwards and forward on the minifigure's head. So we've got another 2 grandma heads there, and then we've also got some red hair, and that was in the wedding set 205, although I don't know where all the other characters went. Also got some spare parts here. We can see the brick that would usually contain the arms. You can actually prise these off and put the arms back in if you have the pieces. And then these are the arms themselves. You can't see the end pieces here, but you can see this articulation. And this was later used to create kind of arms to grab soil from lunar rovers in the Lego Space collection. Then finally we'll take a look at this. This is another one where the plastic has become quite brittle. As you can see, the hand is flopping around quite a lot, and we just have this really nice piece here with the ball on there, and then we can use that to grip onto any Lego element, and these work just as well today as they do back then. So I just wanted to give you an idea of how these original 1974 to 1975, I won't call them minifigures, I mean we've got to call them maxifigures, but here's how they compare to the modern equivalents. So on the left here we've got the classic 1974 father and his son. Then we've got a Lego Friends mini doll, and then we've got 2 classic minifigures. I use the word classic because this is what we're all familiar with. This is an original 1980 Spaceman, and as you can see, this is a 2017 Guardians of the Galaxy minifigure, and those have changed very little other than the printing techniques and the hair pieces and that sort of thing. And then finally on the right we have a 2016 microfigure. This was the first baby to appear in terms of minifigure scale, and he's really tiny. Not quite as tiny as the baby Groot in the Guardians of the Galaxy series, but it gives you a good idea of how these things have changed over the years. And I just wanted to remind you that these guys were only around for 2 years before they invented the minifigure. Really short shelf life for these, but obviously they showed that Lego was going in a direction that was working for them and that people appreciated. They wanted representations of people to play with. So here's our classic Lego family. This was set number 200. I can't believe this was set number 200. Set numbers really did go down that low. This was released in 1974, and as far as I can tell, it was retired by 1976. When I was born, it was a set with 78 pieces, and you can see for comparison, some of the more modern minifigs here, including our classic 1980s space Lego guy. I want to thank you for joining us for this video today. Really enjoyed sharing these with you. Very nostalgic video for me, and if you did enjoy this, it would really help. I'd love you to mash the like button. Really helps us when you say that you like the videos, because that makes us want to do more. If you do like this video, please consider subscribing for more, and we'll see you again on the next Lego review video.